Well, right. Intrinsic in the battle at the White House now to get another tax plan out, and a big one, as the president says, is to rework the health care law. Now, remember, the first attempt at this, by and large, failed, and a vote was shelved when it looked like they didn't have the votes there. So the president still wants to do that. Hope springs eternal within Republican circles that they can succeed the second go-around. But I want you to meet the fellow who was key in challenging a very important part of this Obamacare health care law that had to do with everyone had to be a part of it. He decided to challenge that, saying it went against his moral and religious views. And, of course, Hobby Lobby, which was already a very well-known entity, became a sort of an international icon, and extreme views on both sides. The founder and CEO, David Green, joins us right now. He's out with a riveting book on that subject and much more, giving it all away and getting it all back again. Very good to have you.
Very good to be here.
You had argued that on moral grounds alone, on religious grounds alone, you couldn't go along with a law that was forcing contraceptive use and coverage of contraceptives for your workers. Not all, but those that take life away, right?
Exactly. There were 4 drugs that would definitely, we felt, without any question, would do that, and we couldn't see ourselves paying for those drugs, and so we had to go against our government. We didn't want to, but they were going to charge us, based on the number of employees we had, $1.3 million a day. So that was our choice, to go against our conscience or to pay $1.3 million a day fine.
Now, when you had that meeting, and you were meeting with your family and your kids and everyone involved in the business, you must have known what you were up against.
Well, we did, but since a family, a lot of us worked there, we knew that we could even lose our family or our business, and so we wanted to make sure everybody was on board, and we had about 22 members there, our children and our grandchildren, and none of them was willing to pay for drugs that could take life.
All right, so that was the dividing point. This went all the way to the Supreme Court. You won. It was a 5-4 decision. That change of views here, and a lot of people who argued for the law said, you know, on moral grounds, you could challenge something that Washington might have been enforcing. Can you? I mean, or was this a fluke victory?
Well, hopefully it wasn't, because we're hoping that we see more religious liberties, because it seems as though they're eroding. And so hopefully this is not a fluke. And, of course, that's why we're glad that we have a new Supreme Court justice that we think will be on the side of religious liberties. Well,
Gorsuch has given every indication that he sides with those who don't want this contraceptive aspect of the law. But we just don't know, and judges can surprise you. What about the guy who chose him, Donald Trump?
Well, obviously, we were in his court at that time. We were very pleased with that decision that Donald made, yes, our president.
You didn't like Trump when things began, though.
I thought I had a better choice, but when I didn't have a better choice and I had 2 choices, I knew there was only one that I felt like we would continue to have religious liberties.
Was that the defining issue for you and your wife and your family? That
was the issue, without any question, for us. We want to operate our company and our lives with religious liberties.
But nevertheless, early on you had said, David, of Donald Trump, our family business, we began with $600, has been quite possibly more successful than Trump's. But that doesn't make either of us qualified to be president. You also said that, unlike Trump, we give all the credit to God.
That's correct. We do not believe that it is our credit. God is our creator, and He's created us, and He's given us the talents we have. And so whatever we have done, starting from $600 and have a business that does $4.6 billion, we give that credit to God. We do not take the credit for that.
Then other businesses that aren't nearly as successful as yours, does God not like them?
No, God has a purpose for all of our lives, and it may be different for each one of us. And so we're trying to find His purpose for our lives.
God selected me to read a prompter. That's just what He said.
You may be in your perfect will. I feel that way about myself. This is where God wants me to be.
But you know, you're a billionaire. You joke in your book about being on the Forbes 400 richest list, and you would invariably call Forbes to try to get off that or not pay attention, but they wouldn't. You know?
No.
And I'm thinking of Donald Trump, who in those days would call Forbes to complain they ranked him too low, or said his assets were too low. Is it that you have a problem seeing yourself as the billionaire you are?
Well, I don't know that it helps any to have that out there. It's not what our focus is. Our focus is in our people, and our focus is on family. As well as in the book, as you see, we want to talk about how wealth is not just money. Wealth is about your values, and this is what we want to point out in the book, is values, and that's what we want to carry
and
down
you can still get in the kids, right? They're not getting this business as an automatic after you go Hobby Lobby. I mean, it's no guarantee they're going to be part of it.
We see the business as a tree that's owned by God, and we get the fruit. So we see ourselves only as the stewards. So we've all signed off that we will not get one penny from the asset or the value of the tree.
But what about the income that's generated off the tree?
The income continues to be plowed back in to grow the company, to make more money so that we give more money.
Well, are the kids going to get anything?
They get what they earn. Do you want a child that wants more than what they earn? No,
Wow.
I don't think we have any.